Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Carroll from MyMMAnews.com and Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Tonight we got special guest Chris Donnelly, who'll be fighting on Jackhammer Promotions, the Beatdown 12 on Sunday, January 26th, so 2 weeks from Sunday. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You're coming off a big victory at Jackhammer Promotions. Tell us a little bit about that win and what you're feeling going into this fight.
I'm feeling really good. I've been training really hard. My first fight, I wanted to get a first round, finish. It ended up going into the second round, so I wasn't 100% pleased with that, but I got the finish, so that was good. But I'm looking for a first round finish for sure in this next fight.
Awesome. Uh, Tell us what gym you're training out of and where you're from on Long Island, if you're from Long Island.
Yeah, I'm from Long Island. Yeah. I live in Levittown. I train out of Long Island MMA in West Babylon.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, they got the new facilities over there. Tell us a little bit about that because they were on Wellwood Avenue, right in Lindenhurst.
Yeah, we got the new gym. It's amazing. We got everything you need, state of the art gym, best training partners, best coaches. Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better a better spot to train. That's the spot. I mean, if you ask me, in Long Island.
Awesome. Now, do you come from like a wrestling background or jiu-jitsu background?
Yeah, I've actually been wrestling since seventh grade. I just transitioned to MMA like over the past year, like about like 14, 15 months ago. Transitioned to MMA, but before that, it was just all wrestling.
Awesome, awesome. And you said you're from Levittown. You went to Division or Island
I
Trees?
went
Which
to
high school?
Island Trees. Island
Island
Trees,
Trees.
yeah.
All right. Nice. My cousins went there. So tell us a little bit about the transition for you from wrestling to MMA, and what's your record at this point?
My record in MMA is 1-0. I only had the one fight, but I've had thousands of wrestling matches. So the transition's been pretty good. I've been working with my coach, John O'Day. He's a great boxing coach. He's been helping me mix up the striking with the wrestling and tie everything together and just get myself prepared for these upcoming fights.
Awesome, and you wasted no time in between fights, which is awesome. So many times people don't stay active, but it looks like you're trying to stay as active as possible. You're fighting Guerrero on the Beatdown 12 Jackhammer Promotions card. Tell us a little bit about your opponent and what you know of him, if you know anything, and what do you expect from him.
Yeah, I actually was in a jiu-jitsu tournament with him, I think like 6 months ago. He was in the same bracket as me, so I know a little bit about him. I know that he has a couple of good wins in kickboxing. I know this is his first MMA fight. Um, I don't think his wrestling is on par with mine. I don't think he could stop my takedowns, if you ask me. Just to be blunt, I'm gonna be mixing it up. I'm gonna be striking. I'm gonna be wrestling. I'm gonna be doing everything to get this win, and I want to get it fast. And I think I can.
That's awesome. And your first victory, you got the rear naked choke, and you finished the opponent. What's going through your mind? You brought him to the ground. What's running through your mind? Is it patience? Like for those who don't know, like before you fight, I think you have to have at least two fights before you can do ground and pound. So it's strictly no ground and pound to the head, but you could hit the body. So it's a
Yeah,
novice.
yeah. So this is my last fight in novice. So yeah, there's no face ground and pound. So it's just body submission and stuff like that. But I still think I have plenty of things available to me as far as chokes and beating up the body and being able to make him give up. I don't think I obviously would like to have the face ground and pound, but I don't think it's a problem not having it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good for fighters, especially getting into the sport. Uh, Kind of shifting gears a little bit. You're a young fighter. You're getting into the sport early. Um, Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on, say, CTE. It's big in football. You hear about it all the time with the head collisions and head contact, and they're wearing helmets. MMA, you don't really hear much of it, whether it's boxing or MMA. Is this something you're concerned about? Is this something that you even crosses your mind at all?
If you spend a lot of your time drilling and perfecting techniques and stuff like that, as opposed to just sparring every day, I think that could be a lot very beneficial. A lot of people are in there sparring too much, I think, and getting hit in the head way too often. I think if you pick 1 or 2 days a week to spar, and then the rest of the days you're working on cardio, technique, strength, and all the other aspects of things that you need, I do think people need to be a little more tactical with their brain and the way that they handle being aggressive and getting hit all the time. Uh, Obviously, you want to get the live situations in and you want to spar so you got to really balance it out. It's really important to balance it out. I focus a lot on running and just strength training and not sparring per se every single day. Maybe once or twice a week, getting in the cage and getting those good rounds in, but the rest of the time focusing on other areas, watching film, watching wrestling matches, watching fights, watching fighters that you want to look up to, studying the sport and just yeah, working on every single aspect, not just getting hit in the head every day.
You mentioned strength training. That's something you don't really hear about a lot in the MMA, where you hear everyone conditioning. That's like a big thing everyone talks about, which obviously that's very important. But being that people have to cut weight and go up and down with their weight, strength training is something I feel like that kind of gets left out a little bit. I guess talk about that and how important that is in your regimen of training.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was in high school in wrestling, I really just wrestled and ran. I didn't really lift any weights at all, and then and I think that was a mistake. I went pretty far in wrestling in high school, but I think I could have went a lot further if I would have been lifting weights and trying to strengthen my body a little bit more. And now that I'm older and I'm into fighting, I focus a lot on that because I realized that when I was younger, I could have went a lot further in wrestling if I would have focused on that and built up my strength and conditioning and endurance a little bit more as opposed to just wrestling all the time. Which, listen, wrestling makes you strong and does make your endurance good, but at the same time, you have to specifically go after certain muscle groups and really train hard. And lifting weights is important for that.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you do? Like I've heard guys do yoga that help with their breathing and be able to control the
I do a lot of CrossFit and high rocks training. It's a lot of like high cardio and I do a lot of running. I have a Peloton. I hit that sometimes, you know what I mean? Swimming, me and my friends, we're still jumping in the ocean right now, even in this weather. So, you
That
know,
probably goes so you're getting the cardio from the swimming as well as if the water's so cold, it probably helps with any inflammation in your body.
oh yeah, forget about it. Oh yeah, it takes it right out.
That's awesome. Now you had your last fight was your first fight, so obviously now a lot of the routine is starting to become new. You're walking to the cage and all. Is there a routine that you kind of like did this first fight that you're gonna try to maybe mimic for the second fight, whether it's warming up at a certain time or kind of you know breathing right before you go in and just kind of mentally focusing right before you go in? Is there anything specific that you want to carry over from that last fight?
I'm simple. I got to the spot early. I just wanted to get a feel for the spot. I got there early, started warming up. I wanted to break a sweat before my fight. Me and my sparring partners were throwing some combos, doing some takedown entries up, where the fighters warm up. We were just moving around, getting my hands wrapped, putting on some music, listening to some Biggie Smalls, get myself pumped up. Really just staying relaxed, not trying to overthink anything, just hanging out, laughing with my friends and my coaches, my partners. That's really it. Just acting like it's just another wrestling match. I'm gonna step in the cage and just act like it's sparring. Go hard, go after it, get takedowns, get the pressure, push the pressure, and just ultimately make them fold.
Now, being a former wrestler, weight is a big issue for a lot of people who've never wrestled before. Is this something that you have a handle on? Is that you cutting a lot of weight? Where does that go for you?
Yeah, I cut a lot of weight in high school in wrestling, making 99 pounds, 106 pounds, 113, and etc. So now I really try to focus on my nutrition and I try to focus on keeping my weight very close to the weight and losing a few pounds a week leading up to the fight as opposed to losing 15 pounds or 10 or 12 pounds in one day as a lot of these guys do that. I don't do that. I If I'm 135 pounds a few weeks out, I lose 2 pounds a week and maybe the last day or two I'll lose a pound or two, but I'm eating every single day and I'm just coming in strong. There's no worry about me ever missing weight ever.
Nice. Well, what are some of your short-term goals and your long-term goals?
uh some of my short-term goals are to win at least 3 or 4 fights in the next i'd say in the next year I want to win 3 to 4 fights. um I wouldn't mind getting an amateur belt, but first I want to beat a few people before I even start talking about that. And obviously long-term goals, I want to be a professional fighter.
Okay, awesome. Is there a weight class you're aiming for? Like you want to fight at that you feel most comfortable at? Obviously,
Yeah,
amateur, you can bounce around a little
I'm
bit.
staying. I'm staying at flyweight. Yeah, I'm not moving around. I'm a small guy. I have no trouble making the weight. Even if I gain 10 or 15 pounds in muscle, I'll still make flyweight. So, yeah, this is where I'm staying.
Awesome, awesome. I guess like you said, you come from Long Island MMA. You have a good gym, good training partners. I guess talk about some of the guys that you do train with on a daily basis, and how often you do train.
Yeah, you saw Justin Flynn fight on the same card on November 26th. On November 24th, was it? November 24th? Yeah, you saw
Yeah,
Justin Flynn. He got a submission. He got a submission at guillotine, I believe it was. I train with him. I train with Jonah Carpio. He's another flyweight. He's a killer. I train with a bunch of guys. My friend Josue, who hasn't even gotten in the cage yet, but if he did, he'd be a problem. I mean, there's so many guys, countless guys over there at Long Island MMA, and a lot of them are fighting soon. A lot of them haven't even fought yet, and they're coming in there soon. My buddy Max, he's young, he's hungry, he's a flyweight. I mean, we got such a good group of flyweights. It's just crazy in that gym. So I couldn't ask for better. I couldn't ask for better partners and a better spot to just keep getting better week after week. It's
that's
awesome.
awesome. It sounds like a new wave of Long Island MMA fighters are coming through.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
just wait. They're coming.
that's awesome. Uh, Looking forward to this fight. What do you want to accomplish within the fight against Guerrero? What are your goals within this fight? Obviously, without giving away your game plan.
Yeah, my last fight, I feel like I came on a little slow. It was my first fight. I feel like I had an adrenaline dump early, and I had trouble thinking for the first few minutes of the fight. But in the second round, I was clear. I got behind him, and I got the finish fast. And I think that if I didn't have that adrenaline dump, it would have happened in the first round for sure. So I know this kid I'm fighting now is a little bit better than the last kid I fought. I think he has more of a skill set. He's good at jiu-jitsu. He's got striking, but I just think I'm going to outpace him, overwhelm him, pressure him, and however I finish him, whether it's striking or choking him, I don't think he's going to be able to stop it. I mean, he could try. He could try his best, and I'd be surprised if I didn't get him out of there in the first this time around.
Awesome. What's your prediction? Like, you have a solid prediction, like what you want and what you think's going to happen in this fight?
Um, I'm going to get a lot of takedowns, and I'm going to smother him, and I'm going to pressure him. I'm going to level change. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to strike. I'm gonna mix it up, and he's not going to be able to predict what's going to happen. I think I'm going to be too much for him. I know he's a skilled, young, good fighter. He's got good jiu-jitsu. I've seen him grapple. Um, I know he has a good win against a few people that I know in kickboxing. So I know he has a good skill set, and I'm not going to sleep on him. But I'm not coming there to lose, and I'm not even coming there to lose a round. I'm coming there to, to do my job, to pressure him, and put him away.
Awesome. When you're not fighting, what's something you enjoy doing for yourself? Something no one else gains anything out of except for yourself.
I really do like fishing.
Awesome.
I try to go to Florida at least once a year and get a good fishing trip in, hunt for some big game. We do a lot of local stuff. We go to Montauk. Yeah, I like running. I'm simple. I like running. I like fishing. I like watching wrestling. I like watching MMA.
A lot
I
of
like eating.
saltwater fishing, I take it.
What was that?
A lot of saltwater fishing. Any freshwater fishing?
Yeah, I'm mostly saltwater, mostly deep sea fishing. When we're over here, we go for fluke. When we're in Montauk out in the summer, we go for fluke, monster fluke. In Florida, you just catch everything: snappers,
I'm sure.
sharks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of sharks do you catch?
Well, when we're going for fish, a lot of the times the sharks just come up and bite your fish in half. So usually we're not sharking. Usually we just end up messing up whatever you're trying to do. But it's cool seeing them. It's cool seeing dolphins. I mean, Florida has great fishing, man.
That's awesome. I do a lot of freshwater fishing, fly fishing, and
Like
just
trout and stuff.
around here in upstate New York. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've never really done the deep sea fishing other than out here on Long Island, where you go out like in the ocean and catch stripers, bass, and whatnot. So
Gotcha.
sweet.
Yeah.
Do you have any sponsors or any support, like financially outside of this? Because I'm sure you work as well. So do you have any sponsors that help you prepare for these fights?
Nah, I just work. I hustle hard. I work. I get up at usually 4:30 in the morning. I work all day. I go to the gym in the evening. So no, I support myself, man. I don't have any sponsors.
What do you do for work?
I'm a dispatcher. I work in operations. Me and another guy run a commercial moving company. We run the operations end of a commercial moving company. So I do that during the day, and I train at night. That's pretty much it, man.
Oh, how do you balance stuff like that? You're working full time, you're training. There's got to be a point where you ever hit a wall. It's like, and then obviously you need a support system, as in family, girlfriend, or anything else people to help pick you up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a little hard sometimes because there's not much time for family and there's not much time for leisure. You know what I mean? Because you're working all day, you're making money so that you could support your dream, and you're training sometimes 3-4 hours a night. Whether it be CrossFit, wrestling, boxing practice. Sometimes you're putting in 2-3 sessions in a night after a 12-hour day, and it's not for the weak. It's definitely not for the weak. You know what I mean? But you gotta wake up and you gotta be hungry and you gotta want it. And it's just I love it, man. I love it. I love being under pressure, and I love people telling me I can't do stuff. So I'm gonna work my job. I'm gonna support myself. I'm gonna make it to these fights. I'm gonna make weight, and I'm gonna choke people out, and I'm gonna keep on progressing. That's it. And I love it, man. It's super fun.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, I appreciate your time hopping on and chatting. Wish you the best of luck on Sunday, January 26th at the Beatdown 12 for Jackhammer Promotions. You still have tickets, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I still have tickets. Absolutely.
So if anyone wants to get tickets, you can hit Chris up. Tell us your Instagram so anyone who's interested, they could contact you and get some tickets.
Yeah. 1 second. I'm not a big Instagram guy. Oh, it's Chris D_126.
Okay, Chris D_126. For those anyone who's interested in getting some tickets from Chris, definitely want to check it out. Mulcahy's Pub and Concert Hall in Wantagh, New York. Last time Chris choked the guy out. This time it might be very similar. So you guys definitely don't want to miss it. Chris, I appreciate your time and wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna see you on the 26th, right?
Absolutely, I'll be there commentating.
Sweet, man. I'll see you then. Sounds like
Awesome.
a plan.
Best of luck, and thanks for joining us. This is Carroll's Corner MMA
Thanks
Podcast.
for having me.